Well, this will be the fourth visit for the US Secretary of State to the region in the wake of October 7th, the fifth, actually, if you include his visit to Israel with President Biden in the wake of that Hamas attack. And we know he's coming here at a time where it really feels that tensions are escalating rather than subsiding. Now, based on what the State Department is telling us, we know there is a number of topics on the agenda that he wants to discuss, both with the Israelis and other players in the region, like Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Qatar and Egypt. First and foremost is the situation in Gaza. We know Washington has been looking for answers from the Israelis on when they're going to move away from the heavy bombardment, the high intensity warfare that we've seen, to something more targeted in order to try and spare the lives of civilians which are being killed. We also know the issue of aid will be discussed. The UN saying that there is just not enough food, medicine and water getting in to the Strip, and we know the US shares that view. The issue of hostages is on the agenda, 129 of them still being held by Hamas militants, including American citizens. And then we've got some of these wider regional questions. The situation in Lebanon, for example. We know tensions there running hot after that airstrike in Beirut earlier this week killed the deputy leader of Hamas. The Israeli army is now on a high state of readiness, waiting and watching for any response from the Lebanon-based Hezbollah. And of course, we can't forget the Red Sea. We know there that even though the US has shown up in the neighborhood with that huge naval task force to try and deter the Yemen-based Houthis, well, they haven't seemed to stop their attacks on civilian shipping, which is causing many of the world's shipping companies now to avoid that region entirely and to send their ships around the continent of Africa. That's adding about 11 days to their journey and also certainly hurting their bottom line. So we know there is much on this agenda. He comes also while a crucial plan has been released by the Israelis on how they plan to govern or reconstruct Gaza after this war comes to an end. They say they don't want to govern it themselves, that civilian affairs should be managed by Palestinian political factions, but that will not include Hamas. For them, that is simply a non-starter. But on the question of security, they said moving forward, the Israeli government wants to maintain security within the Gaza Strip itself in order to make sure militants there can no longer pose a threat to the people of Israel. Trent Murray, SABC News, Tel Aviv.